familiar ground. And they start on attack. The Soniqs going to defense first, and as was shown, in terms of attack and defense win rates, for the Soniqs, that is very good. And in case you didn't see the graphic, the Soniqs have just a 22% win rate on attack. Now, obviously, those numbers are going to be skewed because of the destruction that Team Empire caused for the Soniqs. But the Soniqs have played this map 3 times. So even if you go 0-6 on one half, 22% is still quite low.
Not just that, but also, of course, you can argue that... Actually, that's it. That's all you can argue, yeah. Of course, that's 7-0.
You can't even defend them.
Oh, I tried to. I was like, let's think of something right now. There is nothing. The stats don't lie, but okay, I'll defend it this way. Just because you're bad in the past doesn't mean you have to be bad in the present or the future. So
Operator,
still sit around.
Operator bans are in, Nick. It's a Flores ban yet again. They, don't want to deal with this operator, but more importantly, as we said during Oregon, this is a very comfortable operator for FaZe Clan. Getting rid of Flores means a comfort pick for FaZe is gone. It also means that a really crucial operator who can deal with all the nonsense that is presented on some of these defensive sites, that means that that operator's not available. Now, with a Hibana ban, we've seen some small changes to the operators that are removed from action. Flores and Valk banned both maps now by the Soniqs, but FaZe Clan being a bit more versatile. While they might have taken out the Ying and the Wamai in map 1, it's Hibana and Kaid unavailable for this map.
Yeah, so the Kaid is interesting because Thatcher is on the board, but again, if you take the Kaid away from the game, you don't have to worry about playing the Thatcher at all, and I think that's what you're going for here. Villa is a very hard map to actually get much breaching capabilities on, and we're seeing an AVG defense first time here from the side of Soniqs, and this bomb site in particular is where the Flores is very strong, right? Because when you play on top main or just playing on bomb side, those Terror drones do a ton of damage, and Soniqs right now, they're not just playing top main, they're extending to master bedroom, triple wall reinforcement. Good job at getting active on the map, boys, because you need to match FaZe Clan to have the slightest chance of winning. It really is do or die. It's your final map if you're Sonic. If you lose this, you're going home. You need to win this map or go out with a bang.
Well, it's a long trip back to Las Vegas from Sweden. Nick, you don't want to find yourself on a plane tomorrow. The Soniqs, this full court press of a defense, right now over by Trophy and Statuary, but fear not. That's not where the bomb site is. It's an AVG defense, but still you want to extend out to this portion of the map. Hold on to all of the walls leading into Master. First pick is going to go to Grixer. He guns down Cameraman on a swing in through Astronomy, and unfortunately for the Soniqs, they immediately lose it back. But Grixer still looking to continue that hot streak for map number 1. He's already picked up 2 kills, and again, the Soniqs lead in terms of numbers.
Absolutely. I think Grixer dropped 13 last map on Oregon, and I would even argue that that's not a lot for Grixer. He can drop a lot more. So if FaZe Clan can somewhat contain him from popping off too hard, that is going to be your key to success. If Grixer doesn't do well, Soniqs typically doesn't do well. And you have a trio from FaZe, Astro, Cyber, and Bullet. They're all top 3 in kills previous map, and they haven't slowed down throughout this entire tournament. Astro in particular, Fresh spoke about it on the desk. He said, meh, not that impressive. But at this particular event, he's been really, really big for FaZe.
Yeah, that's what happens when, again, you have so many tools at your disposal, as we see out of FaZe Clan, Nick. So if you're the Soniqs, you need to step up a little more. Grixer was phenomenal in the previous map, but the rest of the team and some of the supporting cast had some struggles. Rexon in particular, not to single him out, has shown that he needs some time to settle in. Rexon's first map stats are not particularly good, and they don't pass the eye test. Obviously, you'd need some proper analytics to really dive through. FaZe Clan, by the way, they might trail in numbers, but they're looking to pull something off. Opening up one of those panels into Vault will allow them some pressure so that the Soniqs can't rotate as easily.
They got Souls on the balcony now rotated around. Something to note, the vault hole here, you cannot go through it. It's only a peak angle. That means less pressure from the side of FaZe and Soniqs. They can be very happy about that.
Grixer's going to be the one making the calls with 30 seconds to go. And FaZe, with the diffuser in hand, will need to walk in. It's the Nook who has it. There goes the pulse to continue calling. A missed opportunity. 3 kills for Grixer, but that's it. Souls now tussling with one player on the shield, finishing off Grixer. Out-dueled inside of the bomb site. Now he will need need to be bled out. Bullet tries to go on in, and no, it's the joint SM having an issue with their camera.
It's the keyboard. Oh, okay.
No, it's not.
I was predicting the keyboard.
The keyboard buff was real, by the way.
It was. That's what I'm saying.
Keyboard buff
the
was very real for FaZe Clan. Maybe they need to swap out back to the other one. No, there was an issue with one of the cameras. Hold on a second here. Bullet doesn't have a matching background on Thatcher. Oh, no. That's the round.
It shows two things. One, FaZe has lost the round. And two, it shows how little FaZe has played Thatcher because he's either always banned or just not required. And that is just such a shame because honestly, I mean, with FaZe having everyone's favor on this map and now they've lost it because of the lack of that missing background synergy, that's not boding well. Skinnergy, sorry. That's
not synergy.
I'm still not comfortable with that name.
Skinnergy.
Yeah, I don't like it. And I don't think it's a real word either. I think you made it up and you now put it into existence by saying it on stream.
It's a portmanteau. It's skins and synergy smashed together into one word.
Skinnergy.
I didn't make it up. I would appreciate it if people thought I was that clever, and maybe I betray myself by being honest, but I'm not clever enough to come up with that. Somebody who is greater than me, a better wordsmith.
How humble of you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I don't need to constantly remind people that I'm a two-time back-to-back world.
But now you know. Now you said it. I don't even gotta make you do it anymore. Thank you so much, Parker.
You
really
do
appreciate it.
By the way, one thing about FaZe Clan that has been discussed a few times on the desk is the core of this roster and FaZe Clan as a team have never made the Final Four of a 6 Invitational, which is crazy to think about. How long has this roster been around? And yet, making it to the final day or two of SI has simply eluded them. Astro is in the middle of the bomb site, by the way.
Again!
While we're talking about it, FaZe's ability to find avenues into the middle of the bomb site continue to impress. This round is no exception. And it feels like he heard what Jack said on the desk. And he said, and I took that personally, Grixer and Kansan are both gone. Those are, in many instances, your two most lethal weapons for the Soniqs. This is not ideal. And look at where the Soniqs are. They're over in Study. They're over in AVG. They have to retake the bomb site. They have completely forfeited control. No flawless, as there's a kill from Rexon on the cameraman. Diffuser getting planted, and Astro started it. Astro ends it.
Okay.
FaZe equalize.
And that's one of those situations where Soniqs looked really good the first round, and then FaZe just said, we don't care, right? We'll find that opening that you mentioned on Oregon, Parker, that small gap in your defense, and we will absolutely abuse it and just take control. I didn't see exactly what happened. I think the injury was from that bore window leading into Trophy, because that window was previously opened up, and nobody from Soniqs was seemingly covering it, and seeing as Super was on the Astro stairs, well, Astro didn't walk up that stairs. I mean, it wouldn't be possible. Unless he rappelled down the skylight and rappelled into side, he had to come from bore window. But the fact that Soniqs allows for that opening to happen is just a little bit absurd. Nothing to stop it, nobody to watch it, and you basically lose the entire round of a simple vault into side. Well done from Astro, good read, good drone work, and really nice aggression.
I want to take 1 second here while we're now getting underway in round number 3 to go back to something we talked about in round number 2, or rather, sorry, in map number 1, as we now see what happened in round number 2 on your screen and all the various kills. Dark Zero, when they left, they said, you know, we wanted to take this as a learning experience. We're happy with the result. If the Soniqs win or lose, I assume we're going to see the same thing. This might actually be overachieving where they thought they would be at this stage in the event. Tweeted out by Sensei, one of the coaches / managers of Liquid who's been around the scene forever, tweeted out in Portuguese, but using a translation, says, leaving the rest of today to digest today's results. But I'm glad that a new lineup with 2 players who had never played internationally before reached the top 6. Congratulations to MIBR for the victory and the campaign in this invitational. I'm feeling that this year is for Brazil again. And that's exactly what we talked about with the Soniqs as well. There are a lot of teams here that because of the COVID situation and because of roster changes, they haven't had a lot of international experience. This is the prime time to do it and get yourself some of that crucial experience to take moving forward.
And a lot of favorites are not really here anymore, right? Because of crazy upsets. So you will see teams with less experience making that top 8, top 6 because they fought so well during the stage 1 and stage 2 of Invite. And now they're in stage 3. They've made it further than anyone could ever predict and arguably further than their own expectations. You can argue that for Soniqs, BTS, it's a massive victory.
I mean, with the Soniqs, I hate to say this, they lose Yeti. 1 minute in action, and already he's been cleared apart. The bomb site is kitchen down below, and we'll see what FaZe can cook up now. But back to the point. I didn't have the Soniqs making top 6.
No.
If you look at the teams in North America, you fall back on the old reliable teams. You look at TSM, who are here, by the way, playing tomorrow against Team Empire in the upper bracket, and one of those two teams will go to the grand finals. But I'm also looking at Space Station. I'm looking at Oxygen, who are always so consistent when they have a full roster internationally. So you can raise your hand if you predicted any of these teams in the final 6. Hey, you got some staple names. Most people expected Liquid, most people might have expected TSM, FaZe as well, but there have been some surprises. And it's always nice to get that experience. There's another kill that comes in, by the way. It's Grixer taken out by Cyber, and he has not moved off of his spot upstairs.
Cyber actually has had a pretty rough tournament on this soft breach vertical roll and Sledge and Bug. He usually dies first, but this time around he doesn't, and he finds so much value. 5-1 to his name, 2 kills on the vertical now, and Bullet, well, on the Thatcher, they have managed to breach open the pantry wall, giving a good line of sight into bomb site.
What a flick!
Doesn't seem to know.
Almost a flawless as well. It was Rexen to deny a flawless in the previous round. All he needs is a single kill. There it is, both times. FaZe clan will not be able to get away. Another kill for Rexen. This is huge, but he has wrong intel as to where the diffuser is being planted. He's also given his position away, playing off of this reinforcement. Inside, he knows there's one. A nice flick, but he's only good for 3. 2 successful.
My Oregon looked so one-sided because whenever it was close, it really wasn't. And that's the story that FaZe are showing us time and time again. Here, Canton swung the breach, didn't seem to know it was open, or at the very least, he white swung without really shooting back. It was Rexen to find 2 kills and an injure, but that doesn't get you anywhere. It simply just doesn't matter. Impactless kills, as Parker says, as, well, the round was over.
It's still nice for your stats.
Oh, it's super wonderful for your stats.
Especially to give Rexen some motivation to continue to improve, as we talked about. And this is something that I actually love to see the stats on, because I don't think it got pulled during the pre-show, was Rexen's stats on map 1 versus Rexen's stats on map 2 and 3, because from what I can remember, and I feel like at this point I have now watched all of Soniqs matches, same with FaZe, is that Rexen always struggles on map 1, always.
Interesting.
He takes some time to get up to speed, and if he doesn't struggle on all of map 1, he struggles for at least half of it, and then he starts to come online. He almost never has immediate impact, at least from what I can remember. And it would be interesting to see, irrespective of what happens with these results, it would be interesting to see what those numbers are for Rexen.
I'm really curious if that ADS can be shot if you simply repel upside down on the Astro window. Not that we'll see it because Solos, he leaves the area. Once again, Soniqs, they're extending across the map as you so should. They got to rotate this time around inside of Astro so that they can shoot any Selma charges going out. They didn't do that the previous round, so Solos just breached it. They rotated around, it was easy for them. And FaZe, they're doing this thing they do so well. They're just not doing anything, right? They go fast the previous round, now they go slow. And Soniqs, they want to match the aggression. They're out on the map, but FaZe, they aren't giving them gunfights.
I mean, the way you said that certainly makes it seem like you just said FaZe are good at nothing. There goes Super, by the way, first pick. That's a whole lot of nothing that FaZe is doing there, Nick. To take out the smoke, now it's Rexen down for the count. That is a fight over by 90. Grixer removed as well. A swing, a desperate attempt. Desperate times call for desperate measures, but those don't need to be successful.
Special effect, just like BDS does, where their support player of Brede is such a phenomenal player at clutching and shooting. Well, Souls is exact same, often referred to as the Latam Brede, because he's not a support player playing support. He's an amazing gunner that just happens to be on the support role. When we put Souls on Ace with the AK-12, it really is just a clear-cut situation of Souls is just better than so many players here.
This is, again, discussed ad nauseum about this FaZe clan and how strong they are all the way down the board. The depth is really incredible on this team and is something that all of the Brazilian teams have. MIBR, who have surprised a lot of people with this run, have that same level of depth too, where at any given moment somebody on the team can step up. The Soniqs have always been a bit of a top-heavy team,
yeah,
but the problem is
the most top-heavy.
The most top-heavy, as you pointed out. That yawning chasm between Grixer and Super, you see, was 160 some odd kills. So the thing is that Grixer has shown up almost every single match But when you start to get to the best teams at the tournament,
It's not enough.
it's not enough. You need that greater depth. You need that greater level of consistency. That's honestly one of the reasons why MIBR has been succeeding so much. They're not particularly flashy. They're not putting on clinics, but they are never out of any round that they're in. They are always in competition. So even though they don't put up 7-1s or 7-0s, even if they don't have players like Felapox or Lukid dropping 25 kills, everybody is doing their part. Everybody is pulling their weight, and they are never, ever letting their opponents get too much of a lead on them.
So FaZe started on the master side, then they just slowed down, they held angles. Soniqs didn't move into their guns, so everyone's still alive. But FaZe are really keeping Soniqs guessing, where is this attack coming from? Because they haven't made their mark anywhere specifically on the map just yet. And you see, it is a standstill. We're waiting for that drone intel to come out. 6 more drones, 5 more drones now from FaZe as Soniqs. They're killing drones and falling back one room at a time, doing a good job of slowing them down. And now, if Soniqs can stay alive and keep their guns up, this is how they win the round, because time is ticking down.
Oh, what happened with that Gon 6 to get eaten by an ADS? Because it takes an awful lot for the shield to go, but Super falters. Bullet now watches Grixer on the flank. Cannot outduel the Goya, who's still down below. Damage being done, but Grixer gets away, seemingly with his life intact. That's okay, because he's got a long run back to the bomb site. It's another crack at Aviator Games for the Soniqs.
This grenade is gonna land true.
Beautiful toss on to Kansan, as you discussed. Rexon sees him, but Cameraman wins the gunfight on Rexon. How is this happening? The Soniqs, right now, immobile. They are just caught and stuck, and there's nowhere for them to go but down. Yeti without a kill to his name. Can he get even a single one? No. The FaZe wave crashes against the shore. Only a single kill in that round. Oh my goodness, what are we witnessing?
So in the last 4 rounds, basically every kill has happened with like 1 versus 5s almost, right?
So in round number 2, Soniqs got 1 kill.
Yes.
In round number 3, 2 kills and a down.
Yeah, in a 1 versus 5.
In round number 4, 0. In round number 5, 1. So over the last 4 rounds, you have managed to get a kill a round. That's it. That's your average. 4 kills, 4 rounds.
Yeah, that is going to be the signal here. We see the replay coming through. We were just told that Soniqs did call a tactical timeout just now, and I think this is the moment for it.
I mean, at what point else do you call it? Because FaZe Clan are storming to a 5-1 half.
Yeah.
There is nothing that I've seen over the last 4 rounds that gives me confidence that the Soniqs will be able to reel this one in. Now, the only thing I could potentially wonder is a living room library. It's a curveball. Some teams might not be expecting it. It might not be the most successful bomb site for the defenders. But at this current moment, coming into this matchup, FaZe Clan had a 61% win rate on attack. That's actually lower than the Soniqs, who had a 67% win rate on defense.
Yep.
The fact that Villa is a defender-sided map, those numbers right there should mean the Soniqs skate to a 4-2 half. At minimum. At minimum. But that's not what's happening right now. It's 4-1. And the last 4 rounds, the Soniqs have put on some of the worst siege from them at this event outside of the last time they came to Villa. So this team, the Soniqs team, is very much better than the result that we're seeing right now. FaZe is, of course, an incredible foe. But the Soniqs need to settle the team down and figure out what the hell is going on, because they have completely lost control of this map, and they are just barreling towards a 7-1 or a 7-2 exit here on map 2 and an exit from the 6 Invitational.
In the perfect world, Soniqs would just have had to win Oregon, their map choice, because then you can lose Villa and just be like, whatever. And you go Chalet. Chalet's a map that a lot of teams, they ban against Soniqs, and I think they can be quite formidable on it. And I also believe that FaZe typically bans it themselves, so that's where Soniqs would like to go, that 3rd map.
I mean, the Soniqs map pool in North America was funny because they only played Oregon and Clubhouse, and they only played Chalet. They played a lot of Consulate, and they just kept going to the same maps over and over and over again. But they were doing well on them. And teams kept criticizing their map pool. Well, Villa shows that there's a glaring hole in this map pool. Nice shot from Kansan. Well, if you're averaging a single kill a round, Kansan's just giving you a huge leg up. He loses some HP, but there's a Thunderbird in play, and now Cameraman goes down. The Soniqs are playing very aggressively off-site, and this is where a comeback needs to happen.
Yeah, and this also means Cyber is now off the board. It's a kitchen defense, so the verticality is super important for FaZe, and they almost have nothing left now. It's going to be 3 breaching charges from Souls on the Ace. That's the only vertical damage you can do. So Soniqs, here comes the test for you. Can you stick to your guns?
And the big difference was last time Cyber walked in through Master, went to Statuary, got 2 picks from that position, tore up the floor, and it displaces the defenders down below, not only giving your team a major numbers advantage, but also it flushes the defenders out.
Astro.
Astro's in, but it's read so well by Kansan. Another pick for him. Right now, FaZe are the ones who seem a little bit rudderless in this round. A 2v5. How poetic would it be for the Soniqs to win this round flawlessly and send the first half away?
Be good for their confidence at least. And FaZe, I don't know, it seemed very messy from them. They gave the 1 versus 1s, didn't have a lot of trading capabilities, and they played a very different pace in the previous rounds where they just kind of went very solo. But that's the thing about FaZe, that they try out different paces throughout a match and see what kind of sticks. And when they get the side swap, I have an idea of what they can do in defense as well. In this 2v5, make that a 1 versus 5 as this flawless round is coming very, very close to the end.
Well, there's a pulse in play as well, and Grixer knows where Soul's location is. That's the art door that's now been opened up, and Souls can work his way towards the bomb site. Plenty of time to go. Could he potentially play the spoiler here and prevent a flawless? So many rounds the Soniqs denied FaZe the flawless that they so desperately craved. Souls could do the same. He's just biding his time at this point. I'm imagining the rest of the team will be giving calls and comms. Soul sees his first bit of action over by Memorial. Selma's going off, but Souls now marches towards the doorway into kitchen. A goo mine in front of him, but he can evade that for now. He's got a small opening that he can go with. Too many angles for him to look at. Swinger be swung, but Souls does not want to give them an inch. He loses most of his HP. They're going to gang up on him and collapse. A nice kill from Souls. No flawless. Grixer's a second too far behind. It was a technicality. We knew it was over. Souls knew it was over.
Yeah.
You knew it was over. And that's the first half in the books. An unbelievably strong showing from FaZe Clan to go up 4-2 on a side that should have favored the Soniqs, but didn't.
Yeah, now Soniqs have to match that exact tempo, right? 4-2. If you get 4 rounds as Soniqs, you're in 6 rounds. If you get 2 rounds as FaZe, you're in 6 rounds. So we gotta get back to that. This first kill battle from Kansan was amazing. Then Cameraman ran in with no information and therefore died. It's a bit of an amateur mistake from FaZe, getting a little bit too aggressive, if you will. But the one thing about that first kill on Kansan to note is that somebody else opened up the window from an angle that didn't appear to be from the right-hand side, but from the left. But Kansan swung the right regardless, reading that situation from FaZe, and got a really good opening kill for his team as a reward. FaZe will do the same thing as the Soniqs did and start on their AVG side of things, but the one difference is that they're bringing the mirror. And with these walls being soft, we can assume that actually, the reinforced both walls, I take it back. We cannot assume a mirror on the on side of here, but surely they'll be extending over to that master bedroom side. They'll be reinforcing 2 walls on that triple wall, put down 1 mirror into possibly, but the other area you can put it on is, of course, inside of Astro. Something we saw Darkseer themselves do when they extended on Villa, and that multiple teams have tried to replicate with mixed success. It's one of those, well, if attackers, they know how to play against it, it can be quite easy to pull apart. There is that Astro Mirror that we spoke about. And Soniqs, they have brought out the Thatcher and they're playing the Ace on the Selmas on the Ace. So they have the tools that they need to really go head on into this attack.
Well, first half in the books, let's take a step back and look at what happened. There was no living room library defense for the Soniqs. They favored the same 3 bomb sites. They went to Aviator and games 3 times. They won it the very first time. Next 2 times, no dice. Kitchen then twice as well. The Soniqs won it on their very last attempt. Trophy was an L. FaZe Clan, they won rounds 2 through 5, 4 rounds in a row. They got the opening pick in all 4 of those rounds. They got a diffuser planted in one of them as well. In fact, there is a 100% conversion rate for the team that does get the first pick through those first 6 rounds. So that is going to be something to keep an eye on. Even though round number 5 was a trade, it still was a couple seconds of FaZe supremacy.
So Gertrude tried to toss his drone to the roof, the Twitch drone that is, and jump down to the skylight, but he misjumped, and now the Twitch drone cannot get into this area of the map, cannot open up the canisters, and that's gonna make Soniqs either have to wait for the second drone to come around or simply slow down. They have the Thatcher they can just simply use with the ace, but Yeti is roaming alone down below. That's usually his role of playing this like sneaky operator lineup, but when you're playing the Thatcher, you're needed with the team because now you're stuck. You cannot breach the wall.
There's the Twitch drone.
Yeah.
You talked about it.
Good value.
It can jump now, by the way, if you haven't watched in quite a while. That's one change, and another change to it is that the Twitch drone taser has unlimited length. You don't need to be up close and personal anymore. Kansan gets an easy pick on the cameraman, and a second could be found as well, as he's now repositioned. Look at where he's sitting. He's managed to take the other side of the mirror window.
That he is, and Yeti is now creeping up the red stairs, cutting the rotation from FaZe, so Soniqs have a very clear line in the map right now of what their control looks like. Anything from this area of red stairs all the way back to master bedroom, astro room is theirs. And the half from there here on up onto statue, that is the side of the defenders of FaZe. So now, 50-50 split down the middle with a minute to go.
And there's only 3 drones available for the Soniqs as well. FaZe have done a deft job of opening up and taking access of those drones away from the Soniqs, which for a bomb site like Aviator Games isn't the worst. There's only common spots that you know somebody's going to be playing in. Vault, for example, which is the target of the Soniqs. Down goes Yeti. The Vault still seems at least in control of FaZe, even if it's been opened up. Astro on very limited HP. Swats away one of the few remaining drones for the Soniqs. They've still got 2 at their disposal, and now it will be a reposition. A nade goes in. Astro's been down. Cyber falls as well. Bullet, a nice double piece. Rexon is dropped, and it doesn't look like there's an adrenal surge to get him up. That leaves Super in the middle of the bomb site in a 1v1, but Bullet wins those, and FaZe, they do not give up. 5-2 in their favor, and they are 2 rounds away from the final 4.
That was really good swing from Astro earlier in the round, taking down Yeti. That's once again what we speak about. When you're in the lead, you need to have your gun up and available to make sure that does not happen. Had Yeti, on the other hand, shot down Astro when he swung, that's a 5 versus 3, and you regain momentum. So really, really small mistakes going in favor of FaZe Clan. Huge punishment onto the side of Soniqs. Grixer rotated all the way to study balcony. Well done for him. And my only criticism this round, besides this gunfight right here, is that Yeti was roaming alone a floor below with the Thatcher. If you go on that master bedroom balcony, you toss out an EMP, then you can breach the wall and progress the roam clear. Then you go down below to roam once you've used your utility. That's fine. But roaming from the very beginning, not getting to use your Thatcher EMPs, well, why do you play the operator?
Here we go. What's more consistent in this matchup? This FaZe lineup, or the fact that it's the same pitch every single time?
Definitely the pitch, because that one is like pitch perfect in terms of comparison. Whereas they have had a messy round here too, but the pitch stays the same.
That was the first round, by the way, where the team that got the opening pick did not win the round.
Yes.
So I spoke the conversion rate into existence.
You cursed it,
and
if
then,
anything.
And then the gods said, no longer. And that was it. They took it away from me. They took it away from you. They took it away from us. How
could they do that?
How could they do that? Huge round from Bullet, by the way. 5-4 is his scoreline. He gets 3 of those kills in that round. He doesn't slow down. And honestly, like, when you look at it, the way that this FaZe team continues to play, you can't ice any of these players. They continue onwards. And I agree with some of the people talking on social media and the desk as well. The only team that FaZe was really threatened by was Liquid, the one team that bounced them down. These teams play each other, what is it, 14 times? I think these 2 teams have played each other, I think was the official statistic.
Really good adaptation from FaZe is that they made these holes in the floor that you see here. So when Soniqs choose to breach the wall open, they have the vertical to deny the breaches on the wall with the MPs. I think we're lacking out again, unfortunately. Rexon had like a bit of a sign in his face, so I don't think he can really make a move. We'll see in just a second. But adaptation from FaZe, they open up the floor. If they try and go for the breach with those Selma charges, you can check into the server. You see right now, 15 seconds to go. We're on this 6-pick FaZe. And we'll see Cyber 6 with that Ella like it was the previous time, because same bomb site, same operators. You can do a slightly different setup. You can do a slightly different attack, but the operators and the bomb site itself cannot change. That would be unfair, if you will. So we're back on trophy. We'll see if FaZe choose to do the exact same situation, but given the operators, I think they want to go 1-to-1, just like they did before.
The other thing, too, is that we talk about advantageous site selection. That was a focal point for us on Oregon. Yeah, you know what? The Soniqs did seem to be keeping close pace, but FaZe Clan had the best bomb sites they could hold on to. Aviator and Games just went in FaZe Clan's favor. No matter what the Soniqs do, this is such a steep climb that FaZe Clan will have another opportunity to go back to Aviator Games even if they lose this round or the next.
Yep.
Which means, again, you go back to a very favorable bomb site. Now, I will say that FaZe Clan's grasp of Aviator Games was quite tenuous. The Soniqs did show that there were things to exploit, and it was an ugly round, but it was a round that came out in favor of FaZe Clan. Not every round needs to be clean, pristine siege. Sometimes you can get real scrappy. One of the scrappiest teams in this event is MIBR, and they're now in the Final Four. And they don't give a damn if you think their style of gameplay is scrappy or not. So FaZe Clan have the advantageous side, still working in their favor. The Soniqs, a 22% success rate on attack. That is tough. And that's something that is going to have to get an awful lot better if they want to stay in this event.
Seeing the exact same approach to the round, by the way. So EMPs will come out, then a Selma charge. You gotta look at those vertical holes. See if they can peel off the heart breach from below. We see Cyber's down there, Yeti holding down the angle. And Sophia's stun comes as well. It's gonna limit your eyesight if you are FaZe, and the wall will get opened up, but it's a kill for Rexon onto Super Astro, and they're now rushing to site.
Oh, they're just in. Souls greets one, and it's gonna be a brawl. This is the scrappy siege that we talked about. Another kill from Rexon. What did I say? He might not be good on map number 1, but he has dramatically improved moving forward, and it could even box FaZe out. There goes Cyber. Bullet and Cameraman will need to scramble back to the bomb site. It took a little time, but Super finally getting the diffuser down. Yeti's been punished by Cameraman. There's a Nitro cell that goes up, but it's in a completely different area code. Yeti will need to be retrieved. There we go. Adrenal Surge worked. Cameraman pattering away. Yeti says, I'll grab the diffuser and do it myself. Bullet gets spotted underneath, trying to ascend from Astro stairs. That's his teammate's namesake, unable to duel out.
That shot I just hit, that was where Rexon saying that because of that flick he had inside of Astro really opened up the round for him. They had no drones, by the way. That's just Rexon walking in blindly, by the way. Craziness, scrappiness, as you put it.
Was a very scrappy round, but once again, scrappy works.
It does.
If it works, who cares if it's ugly? Who cares if it's not sophisticated? Your goal here is to win the 6 Invitational. Methodology be damned.
Doesn't matter how you do it, right? And playing off pace, where it's like, oh, now they're gonna breach the wall, then they're gonna drone, then they're gonna throw 2 flashbangs, 1 grenade, then they're gonna walk on in and plant. That's really predictable. If you just walk on through while you breach the wall, you're never gonna expect that as a defender, and that's why it works, even though it might be seen as stupid, overly aggressive, risky. Well, if you win, you win.
At the end of the day, sometimes dumb things work. And if you can pull it off for 1 or 2 rounds, and you don't need to repeat it, and you don't need to gamble on it not working again, then go for it. We see head-scratching plays at this level all the time, and teams will deliberately design a strategy around the unpredictable, around something that, because it is so unsophisticated, you don't expect it's going to happen. That said, that is a win for the Soniqs to inch things a little bit closer, and I like that FaZe did not go back upstairs to Trophy Statuary.
Yeah.
Third bomb site, 3rd round for them on defense.
And I really like that Yeti's now with the team using those EMPs to get the walls open before he goes to lurk. But that's Kirkson now on the nuke. That's a very unique operator that he's played so far. Also on Bank when Soniqs was there. Roaming around the map, really keeping your attacker or defenders rather guessing where you might be. And we see here, FaZe Clan, they are on the cameras, but they won't know where Grixer is.
No, they won't at all. They've got a bulletproof camera up that is being watched by Astro. He feels safe enough inside of the bomb site that he doesn't need to do anything. Carrion and Bullet will now be the 2 to go on it. This whole FaZe team, obviously playing such sheltered minutes that they can go on these cams and not really worry about it. Grixer could walk right in, but he looks the wrong way. An easy pick on the cameraman, and now he can continue to march through the bomb site. A call coming in that there might be 1 from behind, but Souls is dropped by Grixer, and 2 kills to his name. A 3rd lies in wait. Plant going down from Super. Grixer misses. There's Yeti to go as well. Things were working out so well for the Soniqs, they now find themselves in a post plant. Still the numbers favor them. Astro in pursuit, but he's a little bit too slow. The Soniqs have peeled off of the bomb site, and the diffuser being down now allows SQ to reposition. On the diffuser is Astro. He gets picked off by Super sitting on the stairs. Bullet to try and keep this round for his team. He sees the diffuser, but it's a perilous journey to get there. An explosion above, and he's a sitting duck to Kansan. The Soniqs, 2 rounds in a row, and it's only a 1-round lead for FaZe Clan.
22% attack and win rate? Was that it? 22%? This is looking really good so far. 66% based on my math.
I mean, you do need to then say it's because of that lopsided effort against Team Empire. But through these 3 rounds on attack, the only round that the Soniqs lost was a winnable round.
Yes. It was Bullet, actually.
It was Bullet who clutched and got a big 3K. Yep. Got the very first pick, but then after that, gets the next 2 in the tail end of the round. Grixer on this Nook, I really like what we saw. I don't know if it's going to come out again. This is the kind of pocket pick that you see once or twice.
He got 3 kills that round.
He got 3 kills that round, that is correct. He traded out, but that's good enough. The Soniqs in the post plant, mighty fine. They had enough time to get upstairs, and FaZe didn't...
Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go!
Keeps going.
How many times are we going to go? Anyway. That's the kind of thing where I wish an audience was here to laugh with us about it.
Yeah. I'm sure Twitch chat is laughing with us and YouTube chat.
I'm sure they love it. Absolutely. As for what we saw, 3 rounds for the Soniqs, they get the opening pick. They get a diffuser down there as well. They are slowly improving. But what did I say about advantageous sites? FaZe Clan, going back to Aviator Games. This was the bomb site that they won on. Teams are usually most comfortable on this, and it's a more structured bomb site, especially if the Soniqs struggle to gain control of main stairs early. If they can't gain control of main stairs early, then you have a Wamire, you have a Jaeger, somebody in that area that will usually sit on it and just play time and play deployable shields and eat up your utility and eat up the clock.
FaZe has actually done a complete opposite defense here. They're actually extending below into library this time instead of playing across instead of master. You got a mirror window downstairs inside of what we call Vault or Mona Lisa. We call it Lisa in pro play at least. Looking into living room. So a very different setup. This basically means that if you have below control, you can of course C4 up to the bomb side. It also makes the direct attack from study balcony a lot more difficult for the attackers. But the Soniqs, they've read the situation accordingly. They attack the weak area of the map of Master Bedroom. They'll get all this ground for free, but they'll have to figure out what's next because there will be troubles on this red stairs and with that vertical from down below.
Well, it might not be the main stairs, but controlling the stairwells is so critical for these teams. FaZe sit with a minute to go. They haven't really given anything. No real roam, it seems, either on that bottom floor. As you talked about how they extended out, they've largely given it away. There goes an EMP, a Nitro Cell gets tossed out. Explosives from both teams with the Soniqs connects. ADS eats a second nade. Cameraman's safe, even if Astro's been felled by that explosive. Cameraman taking matters into his own hands. He does quite a bit of damage to Rexon. There's still 2 adrenal surges to give him a bit of a boost and necessitates a reload. So both teams will now pause as we hit the halfway point.
Rexon actually would have died or gotten injured if it wasn't for the overheal off the adrenal surge. He popped it right before the gunfight and it kept him alive.
Very smart. Now it's Cameraman to get spotted by Kansan. Down he goes. The Soniqs have a numbers advantage of 2 and time to boot. They've only wasted 30 seconds since that initial first pick, and I don't even think you can say wasted with the fact that they managed to pivot from trophy and statuary and they now approach the bomb site.
The issue here for extending down below is that there's no pulse on the board of FaZe, so C4s you can't use whatsoever. And I mean, you got the mirror window here on site, but that's really all you have. No C4s, 2 toxic babes, and that's it.
I mean, look what lurks below, though. Bullet has access to that Nitro Cell, but where is he going to go with it? He was critical downstairs. Look at all this utility that he's used, and it was all for naught. The Soniqs didn't want to deal with it. This is a sloppy effort from Grixer. He gets punished by Cyber. That's the first kill for FaZe Clan, but more now to come out. Bullet reveals his position down below as the Nitro Cell goes off. He needs to get back to the bomb site because his teammates are being picked apart. A nice kill from Rexon. They march in. Bullet isolated. Cyber will need to clutch a second kill to his name inside a study. Diffuser almost planted, and there he goes. No return for him. The Soniqs have tied the match.
I can't believe it. I can't believe they're doing so good on these attacking rounds because, well, the statistics, yeah, maybe a bit skewed from that Empire 6-0. That's my bad. That's the analyst desk bad. That is not the case of fact of reality as we're seeing right now. FaZe Clan tried to extend down below with no pulse, with Valkyrie being banned, basically with no information to work off of. So the C4s didn't do any damage. The nades, however, really did. And even this one player of Cameraman trying to escape the red stairs, he got shot down from that split wall being opened up. And Rexon, again, on the LMG, on the finger, does so much work. Kansen next up, but gets taken down by Cyber, leaving all poor Cyber inside of Study alone, and that's really difficult to win. Let's see. It's the let's go this time around. A little bit of a sigh on the face of Cameraman as well. Frustration being built up on FaZe as they've lost us 3 rounds in a row.
It never stops being amusing, by the way. As much as they're celebrating, FaZe Clan is going to hit the brakes.
Yeah.
Take a timeout, slow things down, talk through it. The one thing I will say about this FaZe Clan team is they don't seem to let emotions get the best of them. When they were in trouble in Sweden at the Major, in the matches that they were in, ice in their veins. Same here. This team does not look particularly shook by what's happened on the screen thus far.
I agree with you. I did see a bit of frustration on the face of Cameraman. I mean, that for him in particular was a very frustrating round, right? You didn't win your gunfight because Finka was overhealed by the adrenal surge. Then you ran back away. You thought you got out of it, but then you got shot down your foot at the very end of that. And then you've lost the last 3 rounds in a row. You've lost every single opening pick since the side swap. Soniqs on the attack. 4 rounds out of 4 has gotten the first kill, and they've actually been able to convert that into a round victory each and every single time. Now it's FaZe going back to kitchen dining that they lost the previous time around, but they're looking to be extremely active, right? They got the Vigil, they got Melusi, they got the Wamai. You can run around and throw those discs wherever you want, and they got the information from Souls on the Evil Eyes. That just means that, well, there's no smoke on the board, so this does speak to a more aggressive situation. The one thing that's curious is there is no pulse. Normally on this dining bomb side, that's the most pivotal operator, but FaZe choose not to bring it.
Downstairs again in the kitchen. Favorable bomb sites? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I didn't know about FaZe as much as I thought.
It's not that simple. It never is, you know?
Oh, there's nothing simple about this game. Absolutely nothing. Even the complexities of bronze rank. Not quite so simple. We see this pocket pick come out yet again. Same bomb site that Grixer was able to put a lot of influence on the round from the Nook, exploiting the blind spots that FaZe Clan were so proficient on when they were on attack. Now it's the Soniqs' turn to do the same thing. But the difference is that FaZe will be wary and ready for it.
With a Grixer.
He gets spotted, by the way, by the Banshee, and it's a drop-off, so that Melusi is expertly placed. The player as well from FaZe Clan who's inside of Astronomy seems to have fallen off. Oh no, not like this. The Soniqs lose that first pick of Kansen. Cyber sees 2, but like so many before him, Grixer will win the duel, and Cyber knows what so many have felt.
Grixer's really getting in. Oh, but Astro sees the pixel of his head near that deer statue. That's not going to bode well because Grixer, he managed to find the ground, and Rexon, he's now taking control as well as FaZe Clan has fallen off the top floor. Oh. Verticality working in favor of Rexon with 7-0 with almost full health.
Absolutely, and he's still got 2 nades in his pocket. Adrenal surges are not available, but that machine gun is so much ammunition. Astro gets punished by Yeti. The Soniqs have full control at this point. The timeout for FaZe Clan not working out immediately the way they want, but still plenty of time for them to turn this around. The thing that FaZe needs to do is not overcommit. You are going to play for a retake at this point. You're going to lose control of the bomb site. Super will go for a plant, and you're going to have to fight for a retake. But Souls is still in the middle of the bomb site, and he doesn't seem like he wants to get removed from it. That could be a problem, because if he doesn't fall back and he tries to engage and loses that one, then it puts all on the shoulders a bullet. The Soniqs still working this clock. They got 40 seconds to get Super in with the diffuser and get it planted.
They got some sort of info inside, but it's not accurate. The timing of Bullet here is what will have to carry the round. Souls finds that kill. That is huge for them. Bullet has to find something as well. Can't just sit still for too long. He's on that red stairs, waiting for the right moment.
And the two final players from the Soniqs will come from the same area. Over from Laundry. Pings in, but he loses his gunfight to Super. We don't hear that all that often. Bullet now coming back through Memorial. He's got spam pings as well, but they know where he is. This is all on the shoulders of Yeti. A nice swing from Bullet. He's running from home, and he gets both of them. What a play. He had information, he had time, and he had the moxie to pull it off. Match point, series point, FaZe Clan.
Super brought Soniqs back into the round, but Bullet finished it off for FaZe. That is a nice 1 versus 2. You isolate the person holding you. It was that 1 versus 1 gunfight. Can go either way, and that's just the risk that you have to play. Yeti fell a little bit short on the Thatcher there. We saw Cyber early on getting that opening kill. Grixor with a nice sneak inside of Deer, but got shut down eventually by Asher. Good trades back and forth. Rex in particular, outstanding performance so far. Souls really kept his team inside of this round when Bullet was waiting around, but Super with that a nice shot led that to the 2v1. There was time on the clock here. Look, 7 seconds when the bomb went down. That means, we spoke about this in Oregon, often in the 1 versus 2s, Soniqs, they tend to go for that default plant. Hold F and pray. Pray that you win the round. Super could have arguably gone off the plant there and swung 2 versus 1 with alongside Yeti and try and take down Bullet. That's what they did in Oregon. Remember, on basement attack, they could have planted, but they ganged up together, they ran through the bomb site together, they took the 2 versus 1, and they became victorious. They won the round, they took it with confidence. There, it's almost like a bit of desperation, where it's like, okay, we're not super comfortable in the decision making, just go for the simple, plant, and pray. And the simple solution is often the best, because if you can play the advanced strategy, there's just more angles to play.
Well, take a deep breath. If you're watching this, take a deep breath. FaZe Clan have seemed like an indomitable foe to so many teams, and they just pulled off a wonderful comeback. Bullet has been the MVP of this series in my books, not just on Villa, but also on Oregon.
Yeah.
It was Cyber before, it was Astro before that. The weapons that FaZe have are so numerous and so lethal. The Soniqs are trying. They're finally waking up. Rexon was 7-0, as we talked about, just since the rehost. This whole Soniqs team putting in a far more impressive series of rounds on Villa than we've seen in a long time. We were ready to write this off after it was 4-1. But the Soniqs knew something that we didn't.
I wouldn't count them out. Not even now. That round, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck outright if you're Soniqs, but I would not count Soniqs out. They're looking so good on these Villa attacks. They just gotta do it one more time and bring it to OT and go the distance.
And the Soniqs are doing all this. With the timeout taken in round 5, they've been able to put these 4 rounds on the board with no parachute. They lose super early. That's the diffuser surrendered. Now it's Yeti's task to get it into the bomb site. But you've got less people to watch. Super down means that he's gonna sit on a cam, and you need to get those drones on in. 5 drones for the Soniqs. Cyber now wanting to engage. There goes a smoke. Does he get aggressive? No, he falls back. FaZe realize that as aggressive as they can be, they need to hold on to the bomb site. Down goes Cyber. Here's Grixor on the Nook down below. And Cyber down. That's the smoke out of action. That's one less piece of denial for when that diffuser does get planted.
Yeah, and Grixor, well, he found the 1 kill, but now we need more. 2 LMGs in the hands of Soniqs here, walking onto Astro, trying to open up the round. A little bit of damage coming through, but that's all there is. Now we're going to be waiting, droning out the situation, and take it a bit slower, because you cannot pull the trigger just yet if you're Soniqs.
There goes Rexon. So cameraman gets him. The advantage goes back to FaZe Clan. Grixor is down below. You do not have the luxury of time at this point. You need to get up there with your team. Souls has been downed, by the way. That's a nade that works out so well. And it finishes off with another grenade from Grixor. Good utility. Now it's a 3v3. 40 seconds left. Diffuser in the hands of Yeti. It then becomes a 2v3. This is doable for the Soniqs, but they have to go quickly because now 10 seconds have been burned and there hasn't been much movement. Are they waiting for Grixor to get into position? That's the real question. And it's exactly what's happening. He's gonna try to break in through study and possibly pinch, but you have to hurry because there's not a ton of time. There's so little time here. The Soniqs need to go. Yet he does, but it's in the wrong direction. There goes Kansan, and the best player statistically, it's all on his shoulders. Can he get it done with the clock? No, he can't. The comeback looked like it was happening, but they fall short again. And the NA League champions will have to settle for a top 5 finish, as we now know the Final Four. And FaZe Clan is among them. Tomorrow, TSM